Folks, so I just moved house and I really haven't spent a lot of time in this game actually. Past 3 days I spent less than maybe 4 hours playing. But here's the thing, I actually managed to quadruple my net worth or something. And this is all thanks to a fellow, this is all thanks to Palstron. So what happened was I was running all these claws, yeah? They had double modifiers on the Fireborn Hand of Thought and Motion. And he made a in-stacking guide, accuracy stacking guide or build. And these things shot up from 15C to about 19D right now, okay? And I have 4 of them. So I have 2 of them on my Assassin, and I have 2 of them on, just basically spares from when I bought them early and I didn't know where to put them, so they went in the stash. And now I'm getting pinged for them. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna sell all of them, okay? I'm gonna sell all of them, and then I'm gonna change to the one that doesn't have accuracy for this assassin build, because I'm not gonna sit on 18D daggers for absolutely no fucking reason, okay? I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna sell this, and I'm gonna fund another build of it. So thank you, Palstron. Okay, I'm gonna briefly cover the build for you, and I'll definitely replace the dagger. So when you're looking at this, I want you to know that the accuracy rating mod here is not required. I'm gonna change this back for the single mod, so just strength, dex, and int, and then nothing on the third, nothing on the fourth. So it will just be the critical strike chance per 25, right? So that's like under 20C or something. But this one I'm selling because holy shit, I'm not gonna. I can't tell you to run this POP, and then you were like, but these daggers are 18 divs. So this was meant to be a budget build, league starter. As you notice, I'm killing stuff while whirling dashing. While whirling. My whirling's enough to like clear packs. So yeah, if you wanna just dash through everything and do full mobility, you can. The great thing about whirling is that it's similar behavior to Viper Strike. It hits with both weapons at once. So yeah, big damage. And then you just run stuff like, so I have whirling on a falling. It has like 3 mil DPS, I think. As opposed to the Viper Strike, which has, Mamba, which has like, I think Viper Strike and Mamba is like, Viper Strike Mamba is like 30 mil, I think, at this point. Yeah, but unfortunately there's some conditions to it. So it's not like the straight 30, sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher. This is lightning damage as a base, so you have quite a varied range of hit. So you could hit like a very small roll on that lightning and then you'll be like, hey, what's my damage? It just happens, right? There's some elements of RNG in this build, but when the stars line up, stuff just deletes. And on average, it is a very good build for the price you pay. Deck stacking just remains to be one of the cheapest stacking options available in the market right now, compared to like strength or int, both which have very popular archetypes. Dex actually has a, even with, so this guy, his name is Kanka, he did a deck stacking, I think, Deadeye. Really solid build as well. It's just, I think, in general, people don't like it too much because it's really squishy. It farms well, yes, but you die like 600 times before you hit level 95. You probably will never hit 100 on that build. I probably died maybe about 70 max on this, all the way to 97. Mostly because I'm a bad player. Yeah. Alright, yeah, that's pretty much the build. So what I'm doing right now is farming the league mechanic and farming for simulacrums. I sell the simulacrums, I don't run them. I can run them if I wanted to, I just don't like running them. Defenses are like this. You 80 all res with all the flasks up. You're about 37k evasion, 80% chance to evade. Could definitely push evasion up if I want to. But I do like the reliable crit coming from second sight. Don't use these weapons. I'll tell you what, like, why not? I'll try to buy the cheap ones now, and then you have a pretty good idea of how much it would actually cost. So, strength 11. Stat dex int to 11. Okay, that's 20C, 17C. Not too bad. Oh, this one's 20. Oh, but that's corrupted. Shikes. Oh, wait, no, this is great. Okay, 12, 11, 12. They're all 20C. Holy shit, that's super cheap. Oh, this is 25. 12, 12, and 11. Okay, let's take the 12, 12s and 11s. I have to craft on strike range again. That cost me maybe about 50, 60C or something, but I mean, if I'm selling this with 17, 18D, the old daggers for 17, 18D, it's kind of worth it, right? So that's one. Okay, and then let me get the other. It's 25. Can I just ping this guy for 23? Save 2C. I'm not sure. He may not respond. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just get the 25. Wait, this one's 12, 11, 12. Okay, I'll take the 12, 11, 12 any day.
It's a gilded wonder.
Okay. So with this, yeah, the cost of my build has just dropped 40D. God damn it, Palstron. Let me check my accuracy though. Let's hope it's not like under. Okay, it's not too bad. It's just when it's evasive, it's slightly under, but that's not a big deal. I think I probably get crit chance out of this. So let me just socket this in. Is my dex higher? Oh, my strength's still higher. Great. As you can tell, the last lighthouse map, I got like 95 simulacrums, so that's about 8C just running the map. Just from simulacrum shards. I mean, unless simulacrums went down in price. Let me just double check. I remember they used to be 30C before I like stopped playing for a bit. Are they still 30C? Where's my sims? Holy shit. They're about 30C now, yeah. Yeah, they're about 30C now. That's great. So I'm probably gonna keep farming simulacrums because of the cost. It's just it's pretty easy to get. No cost, as in it's just pretty easy to farm them out. 2 greens on blue, thank you. Okay, I have just reduced the average cost of my build by a lot. Whew. Okay, that's great. Now I can sell all of these. Alright, gonna run through the gear now. This is meant to be a league starter, okay? I don't think this scales to the moon. I can try. But I think Pathfinder is generally like really late. And the reason why Pathfinder is better really late is because at the very late game, Mamba doesn't really care about damage. Let's put it this way. Mamba doesn't care about damage because late game you're going to hit dot cap and you can't go beyond dot cap. So Assassin's going to hit dog cap very, very early and easily, especially with dark stacking. But after you hit dog cap, you're like, okay, what do I do next? And yeah, you can't really scale defenses very well in an Assassin. Let's put it this way. So the upside is you get damage fast, you get clear fast, you get really good mobility, but then you're like, what? How do I solve damage? I don't know how to solve damage. So that's the problem, right? Anyway, let's cover the build, and you have a pretty good idea of how to go about gearing this and making this work. You just need Fireborn Hands of Thought and Motion. You only need the increased strength because the percent life on kill is kind of pointless. I mean, it doesn't really do anything much. So yeah, this is great. Don't get the one with accuracy rating just because Maelstrom made it 20 divs. If you already owned this previously because you were following the build, you sell that 20 div item because you can swap that this is only 20C, right? Multiply your cost, reduce your cost by 150 times. Helmet has to be a Fractal Thoughts because it just scales so well. You don't really need emphasis on this. If you're lucky like me and got this for 20C, sure, run it. But if you can't, just go without it. Astra Menace is also really cheap now. You should be able to get it pretty easily. A 6-link chest armor with decent mods, also very easy to get, especially with dexterity. Can get this one under like 1D or something like that. The rings generally tend to be expensive, but what you can do is just get dex and resistances. Don't go for implicits. Implicits are just costly. This one was 15D for me, but I saw it as an investment more than an expense because this is going to go up. Onslaught and dex is just expensive. Fireborn and Bomber, you at the baseline level, you only need the poison enemy nearby enemies are poisoned because that gives you proliv. That makes it so that you don't have to play Pathfinder for proliv, and you have a more consistent proliv because you don't have to actually have a flask up, right? And then poisons inflict deal damage faster. That's really good, but it's also really expensive to have both mods. So I would just suggest if you're starting out that you don't go for the faster poisons, you just get this with the nearby poison. Belt. If you get implicit dex, sure, that's expensive. That's like 5-6D. But if you just get a normal belt with like life or Stygian, it will be considerably cheaper, right? You just need dex, life, and res. Garokans is also a bit expensive, especially with an implicit, but you can get this one to like 2Ds now. So yeah. So all in all, the whole build is really going to cost you less than, if you budget well, it's going to cost you less than 5D, maybe less than 10. Okay. 5D at the baseline to start it, right? You need some low tolerance jewels, but they are like 20C now, and you can get basically the whole set for, I don't know, under a D. So under 10Ds, you'll be able to make this work for sure. Under 5Ds is a bit of a stretch. You have to maybe budget it out a little, but I think you'll be fine generally. Like if you league started, you should have 5D by now. So in general, as much these are requirements, so the uniques are 100% you gotta get used. Then there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4 res left, and all you're getting is dex and resistances and life. So pretty straightforward gearing. For the graphs, you're gonna go for jolting because that gives you more maximum, which is way more damage. You're also going to go for molten because this gives you since you're a life-based build, this is going to give you a very reliable molten shell that doesn't need you to have high amounts of armor. Alright, let's talk about the passive tree. For Assassin, you definitely want this because all damage can poison, which means your lightning damage can poison, which means your Hands of Thought and Motion can poison. And then you want this, and you want this because this gives you a 100% chance to do critical strikes on a above 50% health target, right? So you double your critical strike chance. If your critical strike is 50%, you're gonna 100% crit. And that is really good because you don't actually have to skill crit to 100%, you just need to skill it to above 50, right? And you should 100% crit on your first hit, which triggers Perfect Agony, and your Mamba is, pretty high amounts of damage. Most things die, right, within that first crit. If you're unlucky enough to low roll your lightning damage and you don't get it on the first crit, you basically press ambush. I'll show you where it is later on the skills. And then you get 100% crit anyway, and then you can, So this just to give you reliability. You can press ambush every single pack if you want, but that sounds like perfect to me. That's my own opinion. That sounds perfect to me. So and this also enables you to just whirling dash, right? Because your whirling dash also 100% crits, and then you do perfect agony poisons, and your whirling dash does 3 mil DPS, right? So, yeah. Anyway, Opportunistic is really good. The critical strike damage reflection is very bad. I wouldn't suggest it per se, mostly because your crit is not permanently up. So you don't take it as a, oh, this means I can do crit maps. Just saying, no, don't ignore the reflect mod. What's great here is the more damage when there's one enemy nearby. So Mamba, if you have a single target nearby you, is going to do 25% more damage. So you're going to hit dog cap very, very fast. The great thing is the second one. So less damage taken when there are two rare or unique enemies nearby. When you're surrounded by lots of rares and uniques, like if you use Maven's Destructive Play, bosses spawn, you get 35% damage reduction. This goes on top of your Fortify, damage reduction on hits, I think. So you're going to have quite a bit of EHP as a result of that. Pretty reliable EHP. And this is all the damage reduction for not just hits, but also dots, right? So super good. Anyway, let's talk about the pathing. So I'm going to go through here, getting the life nodes, the crit nodes, go through here, get socket. I have a balanced Terra here for this. I bought this for 5 divs, so it's a pretty cheap item for me to get at that time. It's probably like 15 to 20 now. You don't have to run this, to be honest. You can just run like a rare jewel. I'll show you what kind of rare jewels you want later. Path down here, get dexterity, life, and get evasion, life, and then this suppression mod, mastery. Sorry. Up here, you get socket, ghost dance, life, and crit multi and crit chance claw nodes. Skills supported by Nightblade have 40% increased value of elusive. You're scaling with elusive as well. Down here, I would have gone here to get elusive scaling as well. It's just that it wasn't very effective after I reached late game, and the 4 points are just worth more elsewhere. Down here, faster poisons, even though the rest of the nodes are not great. So, for example, here, increased damage with poison is not so good because you have low tolerance. Damage over time on multiply for poison doesn't do anything because you're using Perfect Agony, and then you have Chaos Res. So the Chaos Res is kind of beneficial, right? But the only reason why you do this is that poisons you inflict deal damage faster is really, really good for Mamba. You want as much of this stat as possible. I have currently about 80%, oh, okay, not 80%, 70%, I think, faster poisons. So, yeah, if you don't have Dark Cap, you press this. If you have Dark Cap, you just don't press this, just saying. Okay, Perfect Agony, you get clusters. Clusters are generally claw clusters with multi, so free multi for Perfect Agony. Feed the Fury or Feel the Fight, right? So leech nodes. Then low tolerance jewels. You want Student of Decay for most of them, just for free chaos resistance. You don't really quite care about the other notable as much. So chaos resist is nice because it takes off suffix pressure. But you at least want one of them to have what's it called again? Unwavering, I believe. Yeah, so one of them has unwavering, so chaos skills and interruption from stuns, which means your Mamba, you can just spam it, you won't get stunned, you'll be fine. Yeah. Path down here, you're getting second sight. I'll show you what the jewel is later. Mana cost reduction, mana reservation mastery, suppression nodes. So the jewel here is brutal restraint, and 7768 is really, really good for the reason that it gives you 40% faster poisons. I only have 30% of them at the moment. So down here, faster poison. Down here, faster poison, and I believe is down. Where is the last one here? Okay, down here. So 1, 2, 3. So 30% faster poisons. Really, really good damage. There's one here as well. That's 40% faster poisons, but it requires me to run a tincture, and I'm not running at the moment. And with 4 points you can get this. With 3 points you can get this. So might as well get this, right? I might get this if I have extra points later on, but I don't. So whatever. Poisons you inflict on non-poison enemies deal 300% increased damage, just another low tolerance node, just on the tree itself. This also gives you 5% dex, 5% dex, so 10% dex, and then some core res for suffix pressure and crit chance. Everything here is pretty much useful, so this is like the best, right? You try to look for this. Suppression nodes here, dex nodes here because you're dex stacking, life nodes here, and then another low tolerance setup. So pretty relatively easy to gear for this. Really, really strong lead starter. Very happy with it. I'm going to start thinking about a scaling build. So I have about 38 divs before I left. Or rather, I was selling some stuff. Some stuff has sold, some stuff hasn't. But I have 38 divs. Once these claws start selling, I don't know how long it'll take. Maybe it'll take a while. But once these claws start selling, I will start coming out with the next build. I have some ideas in mind. But you know, not for certain yet. I don't really know how much time I have to develop the next build, and that's kind of also the reason why I'm not willing to commit. But for now, have fun with whatever this is. I should set this to 5. Yeah. All right. See you guys. I'm out. Bye.